Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be building a base game only home, which is going to be like a suburban style home. Recently I have been enjoying building base game homes. I've got pretty much all the packs now except for the kits. I did cave and I got the Blooming Rooms one, and I don't regret that. I think it's got some really good stuff in it, but I just can't get around the other kits at the moment. I don't know what it is. I don't want to buy them. So yeah, having all the kits is great, or all the packs is great, but sometimes it can get a bit too much. So I do like to go back to the basics, and it's also a bit of a challenge to stay within the confines of base game only. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing today. As you can see, I'm working on the front here, and I'm building from the front to the back. So of course, my floor plan's probably going to be all over the place. I've learnt to live with that when I decide to build in this style, where I just start from the front. I go for the aesthetics first. I've learnt to cope with the fact that it usually means the floor plan's going to be a little bit average. I'm still working on how to get the best of both worlds. But, you win some, you lose some. I have done a couple of other base game builds recently, which turned out really, really well. I'll just pop those up on the screen now for you to have a look at. Yeah, so I'm really impressed with these two, and I was hoping that I could come up with another one that was similar. So we'll see how I go, hey? Just working on the front here and trying to fit in where I would put the stairs for the second story. I wasn't really sure how I'd do any of this build. I didn't go in with a preconceived idea. I was just literally winging it the whole time, just making it up as I went along. Sometimes those builds turn out really, really well, and sometimes they turn out like utter rubbish, and you just feel like deleting the whole thing. And I think it was at about this point that I was like, I don't like it. No, I want to get rid of it. But I persevered, and in the end, I think it paid off. There are some things that I'd probably do differently, but hey, that's how we learn. I had some grand ideas of things that I wanted to do, and I kind of carved out the space in the bathrooms below to do it. And then I remembered I was doing a base game build, and what I had planned was around the shower heads that you can get with Discover University or Snowy Escape, those freestanding showers. Oh, I really wish there was a base game version, because there are so many cool things that I wanted to do, and I was like, now I have to use the stand alone showers, not those nice little clean ones that you can alter from the other packs. But I fixed it, I think. I found a workaround. Here I'm just trying to fight with the roofing and the second story to try and get in a couple of extra rooms upstairs. I am not a fan of roofing at all, and I couldn't get it to line up, so you can see my struggle here. I wanted them to be more central, that one on the side there on the left, and I couldn't for the life of me get it to work. And I finally realized it was because I had to extend the wall out a bit further on the other side. But still struggling. See, still not lining up. I was getting very frustrated. I was starting to shout at the computer. And then I was like, oh, there we go. Crisis averted. I fixed it. Hooray! And then I was like, oh no, they're too close together. Gotta move it. Move it over. Ah, there we go. Done. Whew. So by this point, I was like, okay, maybe this could come together. Maybe it'll work. And I was really hoping it would, because I'm a little pressed for time at the moment. This is probably going to be my last speed build for a little while. My family is moving states, courtesy of the military lifestyle. And so I'm trying to organize, children, pets, moving, packing, just everything. And then, of course, I work on a desktop computer. So at some point, that's going to have to get packed up as well, much to my displeasure. This is about the only time that I regret doing The Sims on a desktop because I was like, how am I going to play? How I'm going to have such bad withdrawal symptoms. Like, I actually wonder if it's an addiction, The Sims, because when I can't play it, I get all twitchy and like I can think of nothing else and I just want to play my game. I just want to build. So, yes, it's going to be a bit of a crazy time. So, I'll be a little bit inactive for a while. So, bear with me while I get myself set up on the other end. And once I do, as soon as I do, the first thing that's going to be assembled and put together is my computer. So I can start doing some more builds. So I'm sure over that time, if you guys can think of any requests or anything that you'd like done, that'll give me something to look forward to. So please drop something in the comments for me and give me some ideas that I can sort of stew on for a bit. And hopefully, when I get up and running on the other end, I can start bringing some of those to life for you guys. So, as you can see, I was having a bit of a job trying to get the platform and the foundation and my piece of roofing here to cooperate because I was using it as a sort of ramped driveway, being that I built it up on a foundation and it just was not having a bar of it. So there was a little bit of a fight there, but I won. Took me a little bit, but we got there. I wanted to put a garage door in, um, but as you can see, I'm avoiding it because I was restricted with the base game packs. And so the objects that I would normally use to create like my custom garage doors couldn't use. So I ended up with some hideous yellow paint, the windows that I would normally use. But yeah, past that, I was like, oh boy, that can just sit there for a minute. Yeah, nope, move on, avoid. That's one of the downsides when you have all the packs and you're so used to using them all. When you finally do a base game only build, all your ideas are kind of thrown out the window, and you really have to get creative to achieve what you could do with the packs, which is kind of good if you like a challenge. So if you have got all the packs and you haven't done a base game build in a long time, I would recommend it. It makes you think a bit more, and sometimes that can help with the creative process, and sometimes it can help you come up with ideas that you might not have yet. Another struggle trying to get I really wanted it to be all open and glass, but the windows that I would use and the doors that I would normally use from eco lifestyle, can't use them. So watch me struggle. I ended up with that sliding door. I wasn't overly impressed with it, but there you go. There are other things that I could have done that could have made it a bit more fancy, but like I said, I was a bit pressed for time. So I stuck with it, and I think it sort of matched what I had done with the exterior and the windows, so I got okay with it. Oh, my goodness, trying to find the tiles that would match that roofing. I knew it was possible because I've done it before, but do you reckon I could find it? Nope. I moved on to some terrain paint and kind of finished the exterior colours. And I think I took a little bit of a break here, somewhere around here, before I came back and kept going because I got some really bad builder's block. I just couldn't get the colours. Yeah, there you go. So when I came back from my break, I found this lighter, paler yellow, and I thought, oh no, that looks heaps better. So I went with that. So I am super excited to get my hands on this new wedding pack. Um, I saw it a little while ago when it got accidentally leaked. Thank you so much, Microsoft, for that. um, and it looks really good. I would really like to get it and have a go with it. Um, there'd be so many cool things you could do with it. And as I was building this house, I was thinking, oh, that would be a nice little area at the back. I could create like a little platformed area for them to have like a backyard wedding in, because that's something that a lot of people do in suburbia, especially here in Australia. There's a lot of backyard weddings, very low key, very chilled out, just, family, friends, a barbecue. Yeah, so I would love to get my hands on it. Not possible at the moment, but soon, hopefully, I will be able to sink my claws into that one. It'll be very interesting to see what I come up with. I can't wait to play it. I always love new packs. I always get worried that because we've had The Sims 4 for so long and there are rumours floating around about the potential for Sims 5, I always worry that they're not going to keep up The Sims 4, because I'm still not yet sold on this whole multiplayer thing with The Sims. I still don't know how I feel about it. So I would like to keep playing The Sims 4. It's what I know, it's what I love. So I hope that they continue with it, even if they do bring out The Sims 5. Like, it's such a shame that they made it so difficult for you to get your hands on the other Sims versions. And it's a shame because each game has something so different. And what you can do in one, you mightn't be able to do in the other. So, yeah, I hope that they can keep it, you know, available. This here is the area that I was creating with this whole wedding pack in mind. I thought, oh, well, that would be a nice little altar on the platform. And, if I put a fountain around it, that might make it a little bit more romantic. And all this greenery and shrubbery will make it look really, really good. And then I realised not long after that I was a bit of a goose. And instead of putting in a fountain, I'd put in a pool. And it wasn't until I went, I think, to put the edging on here. I was like, why isn't this working? And then I realized. So, oopsie daisy, quick fix, and all was well. But yeah, I think this would be a super cute little backyard wedding spot. So, if you have got it or you're going to get it, then maybe this house will be for you if you choose to have like backyard weddings and stuff. I know very little about the pack. I kind of have been living under a rock because of the move. So I did initially hear that it was leaked, but then I kind of stayed out of the loop. I didn't really want to get my hopes up about it, knowing that I wouldn't be able to play for a while. I thought that was a bit cruel to myself. So, yes, I've deliberately kind of not paid attention. So, I'm not 100% sure whether it's even been released yet. I've tried really hard to not find out that piece of information. So hopefully, by the time I get set up on the other end, it will be released if it's not already. And yeah, I can move my own family in here and trial it out. Until then, I obviously will put something else there. Ah, yes, the debug menu, my favorite. So I get to this point in every build that I do where I just ransack the debug menu. And because I was doing base game only, it was actually quite a short menu. I just filtered by that. And yeah, I just go through the whole menu and pull out like the things that I want, and that's why it's quite jumpy here, because I don't think one space at a time. I just see something and go, yep, that'll do. I like that. That will work. So, yeah, it's kind of all over the place, but I think it looks good in the end. I do like this fencing. I kind of have used this in a few builds. And these little plants that you can have going up the wall are very convenient because I always find that the walls look barren, so it kind of just breaks it up a bit. Obviously, you can do a lot of those types of plants with cottage living, but base game only. Have to rely on the debug menu. They have some really good stuff, I must admit. I do put a lot of debug items in most of my builds now. When I first started out, I was like, debug what? Had no idea that it even existed. And then I'd see all these builds, and I was like, how is that a base game build? I've never seen that thing before in my life. And yeah, it's all in the debug menu. Just putting in some lights, can't forget those, rather important. And they give off a nice little ambient feel, especially down here in my little pondy area. Well, fountain area, I should say. I think I'm pretty close to finishing off the exterior, as much as I wanted to anyway. I always like to leave room for additional things when I create my builds, because, you know, not everyone wants that in a build. They might like the exterior, so but they want to add in certain skills, for example, like if they're using the house for someone who they've got a particular storyline for, I like to leave room for them to add in what they require. So basic furnishings on this. I kind of have a bit of a theme going now, so I decided upon a yellowish theme, yellow and white, so like the light browns, things like that. I always like to put those little saucer lights in throughout the whole house because I find it so dark, and maybe it's just my eyesight, but I can hardly see. So I always put those lights into my houses now so that I can actually see what I'm doing when I'm decorating. Otherwise, it's just, I don't know, it just turns out really not okay. I put in a few more decorative bits here just to try and, you know, give it a bit of flair. Little through window there. And then the interior. Obviously, it has a garage, which I've left as it is, just with the car in there, purely so that people can turn it into whatever they want, because for some reason, we still don't have functional garages. I don't understand. Why can't we have those types of things? We had it in The Sims 3, was it? 2 or 3. And, you know, it had more of that open world feel. And yes, I know everyone complained that the game was laggy, but come on, guys. Surely now we've got computers that would keep up with that to some level. Like, couldn't we just at least make it so that you could drive the car into the garage and out again? You know, you don't have to necessarily be able to follow it around the whole neighborhood, but it would be nice to be able to just, you know, leave your house in your car. I'm sure all the people who do like the videos on YouTube with the stories that they create and the series that they create would love that extra bit in it. Like to be able to use them in their cars driving off to work, or even if they could catch a bus, that would be good. Like I'm sure it would open up so many avenues for any way you play the game. I would like that anyway. What about you guys? Is that something you want, or did you think it needed to stay where it was back in Sims 2 or 3? Because I can't remember which one it was. What do you guys reckon? Should we have some of those things or not? So, like I mentioned before, I did not have a lot of time on my hands. So, when I was doing the interior of this home, I kind of kept it really plain, very, very clean. I didn't do a lot of what I would normally do with like fancy shelves or lots of clutter, things like that. I just didn't have the time. And quite honestly, anyone who wants this home can download it from the gallery and edit it the way they want it when there's less clutter. So yeah, normally I would do a bit more, but I think it turned out okay regardless. Some people prefer it this way. I don't know about you guys. I kind of flick between the two. It's like when I build, there's two different me's when I build. That probably sounds really weird, but for instance, one build I might be really slow and intricate, and I might go room by room and add in all these extra little details and spend so long doing it. And then other times it's more like this, where I just go wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and then it's done. I don't know. It's so dependent on my mood. Is it just me? Please tell me it's not just me. Let me know in the comments. Do you have two building personalities when you build? Because I'm getting the feeling it might just be me. Oof. Anyway, like I said, I kept it relatively clean. Didn't put too much into the hallways, just a couple of items here and there, like so. And then I moved on to the bathrooms. Now, this brings me back to what I was saying earlier. I had all these great ideas about things, including a laundry. And then I realized I was doing a base game build, so no washer and dryer. But I did what I could. I made a little laundry room, and I'm sure those people who want this house can download it. And if you have those packs, you can go ahead and slot it in there. Otherwise, you can just change it to be whatever you want. The bathroom wasn't anything spectacular. It's got everything you need. Quite basic. I realised that I'd put the sink on a window, so I had to put the mirrors over here by the bath. But yeah, upstairs, same sort of story. Not a great deal of space. So just a very simple, quaint little bathroom with what they need. I do like to put the mirrors behind the all-in-one bath and showers though. I saw somebody else do it once, and it just makes it a little less base gamey, I guess. Just spruces it up a bit. Again, that wardrobe, same thing. I was like, oh, I can use those awesome cabinets from the Dream Decorator pack. Wait a second, no, I can't. So I ended up just having that. But, you know, easy fix. You can just change it if you download it from the gallery. Swap it out for something else. A little bit of a sitting area and some shelving here, just to put something on that wall. I do like to use objects that don't generally belong on shelves and raise them up. That's a good little decorating tip. If you're sick of the same items and you are working with base game, get acquainted with the cheats that allow you to raise and lower objects and size them up and down. If you're not sure how to do that, check out my base game, build mode basic video, which I will link up the top right now. And yeah, you can definitely do a few extra things with those. So I finished off with just a little painter's area up there, just to fill in that space. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave your comments, questions, feedback in the comments section below. Bye. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed what you saw and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe. And also click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on new content. You can also check me out on my socials.